a hand to hold, call before I hit the ground. Tell me I'm safe, you've got me now. Would you take the wheel if I lose control? If I'm lying here, will you take me home? Could you take care of a broken soul? Will you hold me?
Let's see. I've been called demented. I've been called retarded. I've had my car reported stolen. But anyways, my memory. Last time I remember something like this happening, and I'm talking about a mental fog. I had met a guy. I honestly don't remember how I met him. I think I might have been on like Uvu or something like that, on my cousin's tablet. And you know how you make friends. Not really 100% sure. This doesn't want to stay on. But I'll tell you that he told me a couple things. He was a guy who was very religious, grew up in the same religion as myself. And, I've seen a couple of these people within the past couple years, since this mental fog has started again. And I can just remember him saying, certain things that made sense. We had conversations. But one of the things that he told me was that my mother had other children. And then waking up, because it was almost like talking to him was like a dream. It was like that rare. Waking up, I was told that my mother was dead. Actually, no, I wasn't told that my mother was dead. I was asked how I would feel if someone told me my mother was dead. And I said, I wouldn't care. Now that sounds very harsh to a lot of people, but at that point in time, I was disowned. That's the constant in my life. To be disowned, to be cast out, as if I'm some sort of, I don't know, demon, something, something for people to be scared of. As if I'm not, a human born just like everybody else, who goes through struggles just like everybody else, but yet I'm judged more than anybody else. Never really paid attention to, which is fine, I'm good, so to speak. So after that, after being asked how I would feel if I was told my mother was dead, there was a strange van that pulled up, and I was called outside, and they told me that they were friends of my grandfather, Roman. And they proceeded to hand me an envelope. The envelope was addressed to me, I believe, or it might have been addressed to my aunt, CO, but there was a CO, and that was either my name or hers. I'm not sure, what the labeling looked like anymore. And I thought it was funny because I had just found out my grandfather's name on that envelope, because you know how you have self-addressed labels. So he had one of those, and I didn't know his name was Roman. I just knew he was grandpa. He was the grandfather that was always nice to me, always happy to see me. I remember trying to call him because his number was left in the card, and whoever answered the phone wherever he was hung up on me. I called him a few years later. They put me on hold and never came back. I thought that was weird. Let's see, what else happened that day? I remember passing out that day and waking up in my bed on the floor, you know, that. What else? Oh, I remember Chubby being in the yard saying, "Family first," whatever the hell that means. She said that again too, family first. Let's see. Oh, that's right. That was the day. Okay, so during that time, the first time around, almost meeting Mike Street and being stuck in the confusion between Flair and Mike Street. So Mike Street was the one whose car never stopped. He just waved and looked up. And Flair, he was driving a red truck. I think it was like a Jeep, like one of those sporty Jeeps, like the outdoors type would drive, not the luxury one. And I remember having a conversation with him, smoking a blunt. It was cool. But then he kissed me, and it was the most disgusting thing ever. Like, ew. Ew. It was horrible. That. Yes, after that happened. Okay, so I remember going back inside after hanging out with him for a little while and talking to Burton, and basically we laughed at how gross that kiss was, and then he was gone. Morris actually got on the line and said that he was gone, whatever that had meant. You know, I don't really know. But that was the first time that happened. And I really didn't think much of that question. What would I say if somebody said my mom was dead? But then a couple months later, my mom came around and she was almost retarded. She was drooling all over the place. Like literally puddles of drool. And it was almost like they had her there just to have her in my face. There was no reason for her to be there in my face. And then she was in a group home with other retarded people. I remember my cousin forcing me to go there and see her, and I told her that I was never going there again, and I never did. And then all of a sudden, a couple years after that, she was fine again. You know, it's just a bit confusing. Still in the desert, by the way. And it's cold at night. Bet you didn't know that.